Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Breaking news. They have launched an investigation into Michael Matheson. This is literally hot off the press. This is dated 12:58. It is now 1:03. It has taken 5 minutes for me to get this and up and I'm running. Now, by the time I get it finished videoing, edited and launched, might be a bit longer, obviously. But right now, it is literally bang, bang, hot off the press. Matheson is in deep trouble now because they are launching the full investigation, the full inquiry into everything, into the usage, into questions, into his behaviour, into the lies, into everything. Michael Matheson, prepare to resign. Let's take a look at this. But before I do, please do hit the subscribe button. You want to keep on top of this story. Do please hit the like button if you like this video. That is really important. It spreads it. It helps the message get out. We need as many people as we can to push this video. We need Matheson gone. So please watch, please share, please like, and please subscribe. Let's have a look at the story. Let's see what's going on. It is literally breaking news. It may change as I'm going, but I'm going to go with it now. Here goes. Right, now this story has been running for around 3 weeks or so now, and this investigation should have happened a lot earlier. It's taken so long. And of course, this is the story that both Humza Yousaf and Michael Matheson and Shona Robinson and Uncle Tom Cobley and all, everyone in the SNP wanted it shut down, wanted it all to go away, and wanted no one to question what they were doing. Oh dear, how did that work out? And now, of course, they're all going to be tarred with the same brush. They've all stood up and they've all backed him and they all said they have trust in him and faith in him. And if it's as bad as we think it is, they've all got to go. Their questionable judgment is going to be key to everything. Let's look at this. Investigation launched into Michael Matheson as desperate Humza Yousaf deflects iPad claim questions. It is, of course, FMQs today, and Humza Yousaf is in deep, deep trouble. If this is as bad as I say as we think, and he's the one standing beside him, defending him to the hilt, instead of doing what a leader should have done, which was fire him until it was sorted, then Humza Yousaf shows he is no leader and that he is intolerant of anyone challenging his word, even when he doesn't know what he's talking about. In a heated Holyrood exchange, the First Minister defended his friend and key political ally against brutal questions from Scottish Labour and the Scottish Cons, or as we like to call them, the people who are trying to hold these liars and thieves to account. Scottish Parliament bosses are set to investigate Michael Matheson as Humza Yousaf deflects ongoing questions into his Health Secretary's cover-up amid the £11,000 expenses claim. What else can he do? He can't answer the question. He daren't answer the question, so he's got to deflect and do a bit of whataboutery and point at other people and say, oh, blah, 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 let's bring it to an end now. Well, no, Humza, we're not ending it. We want blood. The sharks are circling. There's blood in the water, and we know Matheson is going to have to go eventually. It's who he brings down with him that is important now. I think the sharks want more than just Matheson. I think they want the lot. The Scottish Parliamentary corporate body have today announced they will undertake an investigation in line with its duties under the MSP Code of Conduct. Raising the issue at First Minister's questions, Douglas Ross MSP again asked if Mr Yousaf thought his original claim was legitimate, a repeat of last week's question. Mr Yousaf said the minister admits to mistakes while bringing up Boris Johnson's Labour's Westminster record, the autumn statement, the NHS crisis, Scotland's renewables potential and the incident where Tory leader Mr Ross wrongly claimed MSP expenses for travel costs in an error he had to correct in an attempt to deflect from the issue. That's what they do. That is what they do. They deflect. What about Ray? Okay, yeah, he's done something wrong. But what about him? What about him? What about him? Well, that's fine. We'll talk about them at another date. Today, we're talking about the lying thief that's sitting next to you. Let's talk about him. In a fiery back and forth, the SNP leader repeated Mr Matheson's admission that he shouldn't have made the claim, which we all know, while Mr Ross said, if what Michael Matheson did was an honest mistake, why have there been so many dishonest statements about it? Good question. Mr. Yousaf said, I can understand the motivation to protect your family, but I agree that it should not have been handled that way. And he insisted the Falkirk West MSP has been getting on with the job of Health Secretary during the career-threatening crisis. I would deny that he's been getting on with the job of Health Secretary. He's been failing miserably in that job. It's getting worse and worse. And of course, his mind hasn't been on the job. His mind's been on the contents of his iPad, which still has yet to be investigated. I would also say the way that Humza Yousaf is attempting to spin this about protecting his family is he's saying that it's okay to lie and to steal and to not be honest if you use your family as an excuse. Because that seems a bit odd, doesn't it? Also, the fact that he threw his kids under the bus also kind of makes Matheson look like a wanker. But doesn't need much help on that front, does he? Mr. Yousaf said, oh no, just done that bit. I do apologise. During his scrutiny, there we go. During his scrutiny, Mr. Ross added, see, this is what happens when you do tangents. You come back, you forget where you are. Anyway, during his scrutiny, Mr. Ross added, Michael Matheson did claim that £11,000 from the taxpayer. And he promised Parliament it was for constituency work. But his story has changed. Now we're supposed to believe that he didn't understand why he had been billed so much. That he was clueless. Michael Matheson supposedly didn't do anything about it. But he was certain it was a taxpayer problem. So, First Minister, he asked, if he had no idea what the bill was for, why did he expect taxpayers to pay it? Good question. Scottish Labour leader Anna Sawar joined the fight, taking aim at the SNP's poor record of admitting errors. He said, in the short time Humza Yousaf has been First Minister, the record of this Parliament has had to be corrected 3 times because of wrong information he has told this chamber. Once it was in response to the serious issue of the COVID inquiry and deleted WhatsApp messages. Another was in response to me in this chamber, he said, when the First Minister gave an inaccurate answer about Scottish renewables. But instead of immediately correcting the record, he took up hours of civil service time to try and spare his blushes. This is a government that's running out of road, desperate to save their jobs and willing to say anything to cling on to power. And by anything, he obviously means lying through their teeth. Mr. Yousaf says, I will say for the 4th time that Mr. Matheson admits to making mistakes and the handling of the issue. And it's astonishing that Douglas Ross thinks that the party of Boris Johnson, a man that Douglas Ross described as honest, can lecture anybody about standards in public life. What has one thing got to do with the other thing? When we have the discussion about, Boris Johnson, don't we bring the Boris Johnson shit up? Now we're bringing up the Michael Matheson shit. Stop talking about other people. Talk about Michael Matheson. Stop deflecting. Answer the question. Answer the question that you daren't answer. Tell the truth that you daren't tell. Reveal the open and transparent honesty that cannot ever be open, made transparent and let known to the people because it is so cancerously rotten at the heart of the SNP. We know this. During his tearful apology with Onion last week, Mr. Matheson said he would refer himself to the Holyrood authorities for investigation, knowing full well that no such process exists. Therefore, merely more bullshit and lies from a lying bullshitter. Now, following a further outcry, there will be an exception made for the SNP MSP. And at that moment, of course, his little ring piece opened so wide you could fit an iPad up it. As the Scottish Parliament spokesman said, the corporate body will undertake an investigation in line with its duties under the MSP Code of Conduct. The investigation will consider whether the claims of £11,000 of public money incurred through data roaming charges were proper and met the requirements of the scheme, and whether resources were used for parliamentary purposes in accordance with all the SBCB policies. The only way they can do that is to inspect the contents of the iPad. And that is where it's all going to go very, very Pete Tong for Michael Matheson. The SPCB will seek to conclude its investigation promptly, and its findings will in fact be published. Depending on those findings, there may be a number of options open to the SPCB, they said, as set out in Section 9 of the Code of Conduct, including referral to the SPPA committee. I would also think including referral to the police, where somewhere named Barlini, prisoner 24601, will be welcomed. If you get that reference, well done. I cannot believe it's finally happening. He's finally going to be brought to book. He's being investigated. I think he now may have an accident, and that iPad will be hurled forthwith into the Firth of Forth. Firthwith, then, perhaps. Anyway, I shall round off. I shall come up and we shall finish this video with a big smile. Now, this is a fast-moving story, and having had this investigation announced, I have a feeling, and I can't guarantee it, but I have a feeling that there may well be a resignation very, very quickly. However, he may resign, but I still think that the investigation still needs to go ahead, and certainly a complete investigation of his iPad to the nth degree, just to make sure that nothing on it is as bad as we all think it is. That, at the very least, must happen. But we shall keep an eye on it, so do please hit that subscribe button. Don't miss this story. It's going to run, it's going to change, it's going to fast move, and I'm going to be on it. And I hope you will join me. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and fingers crossed, this sucker is going down big time. Bye.